Khajiit as wares, if you have coin.
I heard you're a cat person. Well, you must be if you clicked on this video, because today, for the greatest Skyrim mods of all time, Volume 4, we're looking at the best Nexus has to offer for you Khajiit lovers out there. Whether you're looking for more feline followers or for the Khajiit of Skyrim, searching forever more for warm sands to get a bit of a boost, you've come to the right place. And even though I'm not a cat person, I'm pretty sure I've got some gems for you here. So let's start off by looking at the most underrated follow mod in all of Skyrim, at least in my opinion. Khajiit Will Follow.
And so, if you are able to retrieve it, Makara will do her best to compensate you for your efforts.
Khajiit Will Follow is a 4-in-1 bundle, adding a quartet of cat companions with various skills, personalities, and some of the most authentic introductions followers can get in Skyrim, each requiring you to do an introductory quest of some kind to add them to a party. But let's stop beating around the scratch post and introduce the followers. There's Bakai, the warrior of the group, who you can find sweeping the floors of your Vaska. There's Makara, the street-savvy, dual-wielding alley cat. And yes, that's actually what the mod description says about her, and she was last seen in Darkwater Crossing. There's Sarik, a thief stuck in Riften jail like a certain other iconic Khajiit follower, and finally Nanak, the scholar and the mage, who you can find in the Bard's College. Khajiit Will Follow is also still getting updates in the big 2026, with a possible 5th edition in the future. But let's keep with the main 4 for now. Now I've tried a fair number of follow mods over the years, and these guys are probably the most in line with the tone Bethesda went for Skyrim, feeling about as immersive as you could imagine. The dialogue is some of the best written I've found on Nexus, and the voice acting is really strong too. The overall direction of the vocal performances are quite low key, but they're all strangely calming, and while they're clearly not the same as the voice acting in default Skyrim, the accent work is pretty on point. There's plenty of dialogue too, 15,300 lines worth, which damn, that's a lot. With a lot of backstory to uncover with each of these Khajiit. Plus, you can marry them and contribute to the true Nords and their Khajiit girlfriends meme with Makara. The others are marryable too. One of the cons is that this group of felines don't interact with other major follow mods, so we don't get the Inigo collab, I'm afraid. Also, Inigo won't be getting a full entry here because I mentioned him in volume 3 of the series, check that out and the rest of it, but this doesn't mean Khajiit Will Follow doesn't interact with other mods. There are huge content patches with The Forgotten City and Vigilant, both of which are incredible quest mods. I haven't seen the content in the Forgotten City patch, but I love the Vigilant patch. It adds so much to a mod that's already one of the best around. It's beautifully written, which is in keeping with the rest of Khajiit Will Follow, but you might have noticed that my Khajiit Will Follow squad doesn't look like the crew in the Nexus mods page. Now obviously this is because I run loads of mods, but this is mainly because of another mod I want to mention in this list. Project Ja-Kha'jay.
Oh, the wind blows bitter cold in this place. The longer we travel the roads of Skyrim, the more empty this land seems.
Project Ja-Kha'jay, or however you're meant to say it, the Khajiit NPC diversity overhaul, gives us lore-accurate catfolk, which weirdly Skyrim shies away from. Now to be fair, there aren't too many Khajiit in Skyrim to begin with, but there are meant to be loads of different forms for these catfolk, called Furstock, based on what the moons were like when they were born. This means that a house cat could theoretically give birth to a saber cat cub, so do with that what you will, and this is where Project Ja-Kha'jay comes into the picture. It gives Khajiit this Furstock variety, and while it largely keeps the Khajiit of Skyrim with humanoid forms, it makes every encounter with the catfolk wandering the roads more exciting. Here's a look at when I came across some of the Khajiit caravans, and you can see the height variety along with the different faces. Even if you don't care much for the lore accuracy side of Nexus, this is just a neat visual thing to make the cats of Elsweyr more exotic and just more interesting. It also updates the models too, to make them more modern looking, and if you want to make your game just look better in general, look no further when it comes to the Khajiit NPCs. It also helps with consistency from other games, because, well, this is what Khajiit look like from each of the major Elder Scrolls games. You can tell Bethesda and Todd and crew couldn't quite decide where to go from game to game, but this gives you a bit more consistency. As stated before, there's the Khajiit Will Follow patch with this mod, adding this variety to the quartet, which I massively recommend, and if you really need more convincing to download this mod, like literally millions of others, I present to you Housecat Maik the Liar. Look at him! Look at how cute he is! Look at his stupid little fluffy face. You can of course have a humanoid Maik as an option if you want to be boring, but come on, you gotta admit, he's pretty cute. Sassiest Assassin also does mods for Orc and Argonian NPC variety, so check those out too. But while we're decking out the Khajiit caravans, we might as well give them an actual campsite to visit.
Wolves, trolls, mammoths, and giants would all like to make a meal of us. But the dragons are the most fearsome.
Khajiit Has Tents is a mod that gives Khajiits tents. I don't really know what else I'm supposed to say here, but these tents are pretty cool, right? They're colourful, and while I'm pretty sure these are assets from base Skyrim that have been retextured, they help the Khajiit caravan feel like they've come from a faraway land, which is kinda the point. Compare this to the default campsite, and it feels like the caravan actually came from elsewhere, so we can have some immersion points here too. The main tent also feels like the Khajiit are actually setting up a mobile storefront for travellers and locals to trade, while the normal campsite in base Skyrim doesn't really have this feeling. The Khajiit don't sleep in the open either, so that's good too, especially because the Khajiit complain about the cold so much. I mean, they keep asking us to take them somewhere warm after all. This small change makes me excited to see when the caravan comes into town, because you can see those bright colours as you're going onto the road to a major city. But if you've had a look at these Khajiit in my game and thought to yourself, you need some of this Elsweyr themed drip too, have I got a pair of mods for you.
Maik carries 2 weapons to be safe. What if one breaks? That would be most unlucky. Maik hears many stories of war, yet few of them are true.
Elsweyr seems to have a distinctly Southeast Asian and Indian inspiration behind its design, especially if you've had a look at the province in ESO. To go with that, the Moon Monk robes and Lunar Guard armor sets are 2 of my favourites to fit in with this aesthetic. The Moon Monk robes give you that D&D monk vibe you've always wanted for your Khajiit, modelled by Makara here, and it comes with the variety of colours. Now have a look at the Blender render, and if you compare what it looks like in-game, I'd say that the details have translated over pretty well. It's an especially strong look for those of you playing a bunch of Khajiits ready to punch and claw out the eyes and suplex bandits. Then there's the Lunar Guard armour, modelled by the massive Bakai, who's, well, he really is a big lad though, isn't he? It makes him look menacing, with those sweeping pauldrons, awesome cat mask, and the entire look really comes together if you get the accompanying glaive, although it's called a battle axe for some reason, probably because it has the battle axe archetype. Ultimately, it's an awesome look, and if some caravan guards are rolling around with this, it stands to reason that bandits don't really want to tango with Khajiit and crew. But still, with the variety, a crew, and how decked out these Khajiit are, sometimes there's nothing like home. And one of the greatest classics in Skyrim modding has the warm sands that many a Khajiit are looking for.
It is a thankless task, and I would rather be back home in Elsweyr, but I have little choice.
Moonpath to Elsweyr is a classic of a Skyrim mod, and it is almost as ancient as Paarthurnax. Okay, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but it was originally released in February 2012, which makes it older than Dawnguard. I want you to realise this quest mod is older than Serana. Damn, that is old. And yet, despite the age and being in the infancy of Skyrim modding, this quest mod had a lot of ambition behind it. I don't want to go into too much detail here, just in case you're afraid of spoilers, and we'll be listing the special edition version, which did some bug fixing. But long story short, Secret Paths of the Moon offer followers of the main, that's the leader of the Khajiit, aka this guy, a way back to Elsweyr, and you can take this Moonpath.
He said it!
Shut up, Peter. Anyway, you can take this path to the heart of the Elsweyr jungle. Note that a lot of the stuff in this mod is pretty rudimentary by modern modding standards, but it's a classic for a reason and well worth checking out. But I've also felt like I have to talk a little bit about a certain remaster. Now, I couldn't make much sense of this all, so perhaps someone in the comments will educate me on this, but I saw that there is a project to potentially remake the mod, called Elsweyr Reborn or the Elsweyr Trilogy, something like that. I'm not quite sure, it's been renamed a few times it seems, but it also seems to be linked to the Beyond Skyrim Elsweyr project, so maybe that's the Greater Rim pre-release coming out. Also, shout out to the Beyond Skyrim Elsweyr project because nothing is more Khajiit than that, but it's not out and probably won't be out for a few more years. Again, please do educate me on the possible remake of Moonpath to Elsweyr if you know anything about it, but before we close out today's video, let's actually take a closer look at customization and what you can do to make your own Khajiit that much better.
A word of advice, my friend. Do not mix gambling and drink. Taken together, they will empty your pockets of every septim.
So, the final mod on this list isn't actually a mod, it's a collection, and I was originally looking at Khajiit customization mods, which I don't usually look out for because this is my Dragonborn. She's a human fighter. Guess what my favourite D&D class and race are? Anyway, I did a lot of research, looked at my own mod pack, Apostasy, check out this video for that, and ended up finding Katie's Beast Race Aesthetics Compendium for SSE, with the Katie in question being KTX Mongo. Yes, this is for all beast races, not just Khajiit, and contains loads of mods for you to fulfill your furry dreams because I know what kind of person you guys are. But seriously, this is a really impressive collection with textures, body mods, face presets, and even fluffy Khajiit paws, which is both hilarious and kinda cute. Now, there is some not safe for work mods here, but Katie has labelled these, so for those who want, go right ahead, and for those who do not, well, feel free to ignore. This collection acts as a massive archive and is apparently being updated regularly. Still, there's so much here that it should cover all your Khajiit customization needs. I mean, anything that I've thought of, from the paws, from the fur, from drip, and even stuff for Argonians, and I started looking at many of these mods individually and I hardly got down half the list, so I can't imagine that this has missed much out. Hopefully, if you're looking for something to make your own Khajiit just the way you want to, whether that be super lore accurate or just a super fluffy boy, this should have it all. All in all, thanks for watching, and I hope I've covered most of what you Khajiit lovers have been looking for. I know I said 7 mods in the title and gave you way more, but if you're going to complain about it, please learn to enjoy life just that bit more. I'm giving you more stuff for free after all. Well, technically all my stuff is free until I make a membership or Patreon. Actually, if by some miracle you're still watching this video, I'd like to ask, if I were to make a membership thing for YouTube or Patreon, what kind of stuff would be worth that monthly payment? Behind the scenes stuff, my weird research finds, my face maybe? It's not much to look at, but it exists. I probably won't make one for a while because I'd like to actually have content to give out and have that prepared in bulk and not just ask for money for nothing, or maybe you think I shouldn't do anything like that at all to begin with. let me know, but I'll stop taking up your time for now, and thank you for watching this video. Do the YouTube ritual, blah blah blah, you get the picture now, and I'll hopefully see you in another video. But I don't know when the next mod one will be.
Bells on the docks, they cry out for the mortal day, and winds sing the dirge for the words we never could